Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Habitual Growth Podcast. As you can see here, this is not Lisa. This is actually my wife, Bree, and you might see the different setting behind us here. And the reason for that is we actually have a daughter that's at home sick. And so we're having to rework things a little bit, but we wanted to bring Bree into the podcast today because she is actually transitioning between a couple of different roles. And it was such a good topic just for the number of people in our network alone that are struggling to find another job or starting the interview process or looking to move into something that is a next step for themselves. And so Bree happens to be an expert in this. We've been through this a couple of times for myself, for Bree as well. But she's actually actively interviewing. She's been working with recruiters. And so we just wanted to highlight some of the different aspects that she is doing in real time that might be able to help you out if you're in that space where you're looking for what comes next in your professional career. So with that, Bree, tell us a little bit about what you're doing in terms of looking for another job or working with recruiters or some of the first steps that you actually take to make this career transition.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. Always happy to be here. Not so much with a sick daughter, but nonetheless, it's life. And a part of life is what we do every single day. So I've had both the luxury and challenge of working in different industries and different parts of recessions and market crashes like you all probably have. I am in tech and I'm a sales leader in tech. And as those that follow bigger macroeconomics, we very much know that there is a big shift happening in the industry. So there's been quite a bit of layoffs and thousands of people are on the market, amazing talent. And really it comes down to how are you navigating and differentiating. So first steps, I would say, is even if you're not actively looking because you're happy as a clam and you're ready to retire with your current organization, couple things. One, we're never promised tomorrow. And now that dawned on me in this last riff. And two, there might be a change of events that want to lead you into something else. So I would say step one is always be networking. I feel like we throw that out a lot, but what does that actually mean? It means old colleagues. Go throw time on their calendar and keep up with them. It means old bosses, old VPs, old anyone that you've had interaction with in your past. Make sure you're staying in touch and just top of mind with them. And it doesn't take a long time, but even intentionally speaking, using the habitual growth app, selfish plug, it's like one phone call a week. So again, you're not actively looking, but you are trying to keep your network warm. So if and when the time comes, you're not cold. And I would say most people are so happy to connect and reconnect and just see where you're at and understand where you're trying to go. So it could be a 30-minute phone call, again, with an old peer, colleague, boss, whoever, but you do that. And it's amazing that when you do need them, it's a much easier point to enter as opposed to like, I haven't talked to you in 12 years. Hey, can you help me find a job? So I think step one is keeping your network warm. Step two is actually being vulnerable. Again, I think this term gets thrown out often about like being your authentic self and showing up with vulnerability. What does that look like in a job hunt, job search? It is something like creating an email. So maybe we're talking now about not being proactive on the hunt and keeping, again, like you don't need something. But really, it means writing an email to, again, close friends, close family members, old colleagues, and they can just be a little bit different because you might not use the same language or share as many details with old colleagues than you would friends and family members. But a simple email, a simple text message that goes out to everyone you know and showing up and saying, hey, I'm looking for a job pivot, or hey, I got let go, laid off. I got caught up in an LR, you name it. I need your help. Like, this is what I'm looking for. And this is your time to be explicit and actually ask what it is, because people are always willing to help. From my experience, people love to help. But if you don't actually ask what you need, it's kind of like good to hear from them, like don't really know what to do. So leaving people with actions like, hey, these are the 3 companies I'm looking for. I saw that you're connected with so-and-so. Is that someone you could make an intro to me for? So I would start with a mass broadcast, email, text message, send it out so people know. And then you go a next step further And again, I say vulnerable to start off that because a lot of people don't love to share that they were let go or they're jobless, but that's how people know like where you stand. And then after that, like you get to start what I say is your online component of all of this. So again, we have our keeping our network warm, communicating to friends, colleagues, family members, asking and being vulnerable. And then three is the online approach. So hear me out. I think it could have a bad rap. You could have had bad experience in the past. But if we're looking at how jobs and transactions are being done, a lot of it is via LinkedIn, being via Indeed. So what does that look like? Little tweaks. Like most people don't probably haven't even paid attention to the ability that these tools offer, but it could be as simple as going into your settings and saying open to. Maybe again, you're not in a situation where you're trying to find a job right now, but open to that actually exposes yourself to recruiters and companies that you're open at least to a conversation. Even doesn't mean like I'm ready to jump ship right now, but that also people are that's usually not visible to your employer. So you could have this open to setting and that goes just to this external recruiter community and companies. And that amazingly brings in a lot of interest and inquiry. So I would say start exploring LinkedIn. On the topic of LinkedIn, now we're going to optimize our profile. How do we do that? Thank you for having any AI at your fingertips to do that in a matter of seconds. Literally copy and paste your current page, your URL, your About Me section, throw that into your AI tool of choice. I'm a ChatGPT user. I throw it in and I say, hey, optimize this profile. I'm looking to have engagement and companies and recruiters reaching out for these types of roles. It could be a little bit of tweak, but as we all know, AI is running the game behind the scenes. So if you don't have that perfect search optimization, those keywords, it's very hard to get noticed because you're playing like machine versus human when you need machine versus machine. So again, quick optimization of your profile. Okay, next. I think we all, well, I can't speak for everyone. I've again been fortunate that a lot of people have been reaching out to me over the last couple of years with different roles. And even in this time, I went back a year ago and was just seeing who was reaching out to me and going back to those recruiters and saying, hey, I know I wasn't available at the time or I wasn't open to conversation. Now I am. So start with the low hanging fruit in that community where, again, like they found you, they sought you out. So go re engage. Sure, that opportunity is not existent anymore, but that person saw something in you, strengths in you. So you should go reconnect.
So there's a lot of good nuggets in there that Brady had shared. I think the most important thing, which you highlighted on at least the first three, if not the fourth, is try not to do it alone. And we understand that not everybody is in this same boat. But as I mentioned before, we both have been in a position where we've been out looking for jobs. It's taken months. We have a lot of people in our network where it seems easy. Hey, I'm going to go out and get an interview. I'm going to hit the easy apply button on LinkedIn, whatever it is. But there can be a lot of discouragement in there. So I wanted to bring Brie on today because she's been very good at getting interviews that have come out of a couple of days of doing the tactics that she actually has. But the two that she mentioned really upfront is one, making sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date and you're open to work is really, really key because people can find you. So it's not just you have the skill sets and you're doing all the outbound. There's a lot of people that actually can come internal. And that's really, really important, especially in the day and age where AI overrides everything. If you don't have the right keywords on your resume, if you're not applying in the right way, AI can keep you out of it. And so you do want to make sure that, and I would not even say LinkedIn, but just all social media profiles are updated. So be careful what you put on to social media, but specifically LinkedIn. If you're looking for a white collar job, this is the platform to be on. And everybody does check LinkedIn, as most people know. And then obviously the more you can hit up your network and just say, how you doing? A 5 minute, hey, I was thinking about you, or hey, I'm in this situation, being vulnerable really helps in setting expectations. And the last thing that I would recommend, and let me know what you think about this, is really understanding what you do want. So again, maybe you've been let go. It's really hard to be patient and try to find the right thing. We all know, like going out and just trying to find a paycheck, oftentimes that reactionary situation, it does happen. It doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, but it also doesn't put you in a better position moving forward. So if you can spend some time thinking about actually what you do want out of your next role, what type of culture, what type of position, do you want to manage? Do you want to be an individual contributor? Like if you can start to really outline what types of things you want to see in your next role, that will help you identify, number one, the conversations that you're having with recruiters, how to point them in the right direction. Number two, with your networks, how do you leverage your network and have them bring the right opportunities to you? And then three, just your search in general, because sometimes the searches themselves can be really overwhelming. And oftentimes I've seen people just get defeated of like, hey, I'm trying to do, 100 different emails a day. I'm not getting any responses back. But should you really be applying to all of these jobs? Or are you just in this desperate mode, which internally and emotionally spins up maybe some of the wrong things that you're trying to go after?
Yeah, on that, one thing that I've always shared with friends or again colleagues or mentees that are looking for jobs is that is a step that I make people go through, which I call the non-negotiable list. So as Nathan just talked about what you do want, it's also just as important of what you don't want. And again, I think we're really good at finding the shiny thing in the moment, like, ooh, yeah, like it's exciting. Of course, someone's pursuing you or courting you or you're moving along in the interview process. But what's hard to stay fixated on was if you don't have that, what I call the non negotiable list, then you don't have a North Star. And then all of a sudden you're getting pulled into something that maybe wasn't in alignment with what you were seeking. So just as important of what you do want, also what you don't want, and keeping that list visible, printing it out. So when you're on a conversation, a recruiter screening or that initial first step in the interview process, like really fixate on what is on that list and see how much of what this current role offers and aligns to. Once you find some roles that are interesting to you, once you perhaps even make a short list of companies that are intriguing to you, again, I would say that it's never too early to explore that and kind of have that list and that those positions in your back pocket. So if the day comes, you've already kind of done the groundwork research, you have a step ahead. There's no such thing as too much proactivity. So again, going on your job search platform of choice and going to see like who are you connected with or who are you second or third connects with, and go follow the breadcrumb trail. Find the person that could give you their inside look to what that company actually is, and then confirm if you made the right conclusion from an external lens, like, yep, that still aligns. And then go on the hunt to go find someone that would be in a position to bring you on board. So again, making a cold outreach email and telling them why, I know there's no positions open right now. I'm not even looking, but I want to be on your radar for if and when X, Y, or Z becomes available. You're being thought of. And again, you're showing and demonstrating characteristics that many employers would love, which is, wow, they are like focused and they're being intentional and they're being strategic in who they reach out to. So even just conveying some of your emotions in the job quest itself is telling to the type of person you are.
Yep. Yeah, that's really good. Well, hopefully that helps. As I mentioned, we want you to be successful, and we also want to give you some tips and tricks that you can apply to your daily life. We don't want you to be in this position where you're desperate. So the sooner you can do some of this, keep some of those networking channels open, making sure your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your social media profiles, those are cleaned up. They're showing or exhibiting the best version of you. So make sure you're downloading the Habitual Growth app, which is available on the Play Store and the App Store, and put in your outreach every single day. Set a goal up for yourself. If you are looking for a job, obviously, be tracking your outreach. Hey, make sure that you're actively tracking this because, God forbid, you may not get an interview right away. We want you to be set up and not losing faith in the process. And then lastly, and this is the most important thing, and Bree touched on this right at the end there, but it's direct your life. It's a really sad thing sometimes when we think that we are insulated from layoffs or restructuring, and that happens to us and we realize, hey, we're kind of just a number to these organizations. We don't want you to feel that. And so in an effort to make sure that you are continuing to pursue the best version of yourself, really think about where you want to go. Take control of your life. Don't wait for that scenario to happen. So this is where that proactivity, you have to be the one that's actually putting this direction and path to your own life. If you're just there waiting for opportunities to come to you, more often than not, that's never going to happen, unfortunately. And if it does, it's few and far between, and it's probably not the right position for you. Somebody else has probably just seen that and said, well, here's a warm body in a seat. So hopefully this helped today. Again, download the Habitual Growth app for yourself. Bree, thank you so much for being here and sharing us your experience in real time. And for the audience, thank you for joining us as well. If you have any questions or comments, please write to us. We'd love to hear from you on any of our channels, or just reach out to us at info@habitualgrowth.com. Until then, we'll see you next time.